This is Matt Hardy, and you are listening to the VOC Nation.
Listen up, Slapnuts. This is Jeff Jarrett, the king of the mountain and founder of Global Force Wrestling. And
Global
you're
Force.
listening to In the Room Radio.
We're on easy street, and it feels so sweet, 'cause the world is but a treat, and you're on easy street, and we're breaking out the good champagne.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back on In the Room, the VOC Nation Radio Network, Wrestling Network at VOCNation.com, and of course on your favorite podcast providers as well. I'm Brady Hicks. I've got with me once again the lovely Kathy Fitz on this cold, dank night. Is dank an okay word? I think it's okay. Dank? Yeah. I've definitely described people as dank at different points. What's going on, Kathy?
Yeah, really. Thanks, Brady.
How you feeling tonight?
Doing
Turn that
good.
down a little more. Good. Good. I need to...
Retirement.
Oh, you're getting close. Getting close.
Oh,
I got 7 months and 3 days until I retire from bachelorhood. So, yeah. But the truth is, I retired a long time ago. So, we've also got movie star and star of television and film and wrestler and entertainer and all that great stuff. We have the one and only Maestro. How you doing, sir?
Great to be here with you guys. Happy to be here. And gosh, the Cowboys are taking over, man. Lester and Adam Page. The Cowboys.
You scared me. I thought the NFL, they did something in the NFL. I was like, no.
Well,
no.
I wish I could say the same about the NFL and the Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, I got NFL news, but we'll hold off on that because we also have a legend in professional wrestling, certainly out of the New England scene, somebody that we all know and love, Patrick the Hack Hackett. What's going on, sir?
Oh, Brady, by God, Hicks, man, it's Tuesday night. There's no place in the world I'd rather be. The out of office is up. I am off for 2 days. I'm drinking. I'm going to see AEW tomorrow. Let's go.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. Have you been?
Right.
You've been to AEW, right?
Nope.
No. Wow. Okay.
I've seen 45 minutes of the product total. I watched Punk's return, and that was really it. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
You'll
learn for a
learn
treat
as it goes on. Your television watching time is quite precious, so you want to squeeze in those things that you really want, you know. Hockey's in full swing. The 49ers were on a playoff run, and watching wrestling just wasn't. And I keep up with everything, and everybody's great. You know, you can see the gist of it in 5 minutes on most of their YouTube shows.
Yeah. No, that's totally the situation, and the internet coverage is great as well. I'm lucky enough because I work from home, and my boss even knows this. Like everybody watches like something in the background.
Oh yeah.
So I sit and I watch wrestling all day. You know. Today I finished up the Impact pay-per-view and I watched Raw. That was what I did while I worked.
Really good show, the Impact pay-per-view.
It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. Obviously, they set the stage for like the Ring of Honor people to kind of continue to have a presence, and they turned Eddie Edwards so that he joined the Ring of Honor crew, which I thought was pretty cool because, there's a long history there. And, one of the guys on that show, from the invading, what is it? Honor No More, I think they call themselves.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So PCO is a founding member of that group. And we actually, here's my transition. Tonight we're going to have his former partner on the show. He is a WWE Intercontinental and a tag team champion. I don't believe he might have won the belts in WCW. I don't remember offhand. Not positive about that, but I feel like they might have briefly. But yeah, Jacques Rougeau, the Mountie. Kathy, you remember when he got arrested after fighting the Big Boss Man, and they're like trying to fingerprint him, and he's like, "You want the finger? I'll give you the finger," and he goes like that. It was amazing. It was amazing. I told him, like, I said, because I used to watch it with my dad, and like that was something that made my dad pop when I said, I'm going to have the Mountie on the show, you know? I enjoyed it. So anyway, the Mountie's going to be on the show tonight. We'll run the interview in the second hour. It was pre-taped, so so we'll do that after the commercial break. That way we can kind of jump in with the full discussion. I also want to give out the number tonight, of course, 914-338-1885. That's 1885. And that is how you get in touch with us here tonight. Right now, actually pull back the curtain a little. There are actually no callers in the queue. So if you want to call in, it's a great time to get right on the air. 914-338-1885. So we got that. And we had the Blood Money show this weekend as well in WWE, the Saudi Arabia thing. Actually, I thought it was really cool, and maybe I'm just being like a flippin' idiot, but like I thought it was really cool that they had like 4 women's matches on that show. Because like when it started, I remember them saying that there was a good chance they wouldn't have any.
Yeah.
And they were good. I would say that like the women were probably the most popular thing on the show.
Well, I mean, you're not seeing
Lita
a
was
whole lot
at least.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that's kind of where my thought for talking about, well, that and what Papa Stro did on Retro is that was such a dream match right there. Lita versus Becky Lynch. And, you know, I'm a very principled person. I won't ever watch any of those shows. But, you know,
good for you.
We're running out of dream matches. Like, there's so few left. What do we need? And there's some that are just unrealistic. Like, I really wanted Sting and Taker. That's what I really wanted.
A lot of people did, and that was so close. That's a shame.
I know. It's a buckle bomb away, it feels like.
Yeah. Although once The Undertaker goes in the Hall of Fame, he could go to AEW as the Mortician, and then, you know, they'd be able to do it then, maybe. I think that's a dream match for a lot of people because they were kind of positioned in the two companies kind of the same way for most of their careers. Yep. So, for sure. The one for me, and I kind of brought it up with Stro, and it's another one, I think the horse is out of the barn and it's probably not coming back, was Hulk Hogan, one of my heroes from the 80s, against the anti-hero from the 90s, Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know? That would have been incredible.
We never had that?
They had it, they clashed once in Raw on like a 6-man tag match, and that was it. And they barely even touched.
That's a shame.
Never happened.
Yeah, that's really
to
a
me,
shame.
That's like, you know, they did The Rock. They had a big one with The Rock at WrestleMania.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, the turn in the middle of the match, just by feeling the energy of the crowd, that's the stuff that's missing, man. That's like we're all this predetermined. We're booked out until WrestleMania. This, and this is going to happen. You don't let the fans have any say. And I'm not talking about like going on the internet and bitching and complaining. Like, people do that. But the fans, their reactions, we want authentic reactions. That's why, you know, when we were raging in the very beginning of this thing, when like WWE got the idea, we can just pump in whatever responses and chants that we want. I'm like, this does not bode well for the future.
Yeah, for sure. Stro, Kathy, you guys have a dream match that kind of came to mind? Obviously, Stro, you just did a whole show on it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Kathy, you got one?
I want to see the Mount. Yeah. I want to see the Mountie take on Bret Hart again so he can beat him again for the title.
What the hell? That is one of my favorite matches, man. That whole run with like the taser and the shock proof and oh man, and this was such like that. Roddy Piper was still in the Intercontinental picture during that time, I think.
Yeah. He beat the Mountie for it.
Yeah.
And apparently the shockproof thing, and that's another thing that my dad brought up, which is really funny because like I don't really think he pays that much attention, but You know, I talked about having the Mountie on, and he's like, oh, yeah, ask him about the shock-proof vest. Like, my dad remembered that, you know, and that was pretty cool. That was the Mountie's idea, apparently.
You know,
So.
like PCO versus the Mountie, I don't know if Jacques has anything left in the tank, but some indie
amazing.
somewhere with big pockets, like, let's make that happen.
Kathy, I didn't mean to cut you off, Kathy, but I even said to Jacques during the interview, I was like, you know, between you and PCO, I don't know what they're putting in the water up there, but they both look amazing. They're like
poutine.
Jacques is in his 60s.
Yeah.
He looks like
PCO, I can't believe he still works the way he does.
It's amazing, and he's jacked.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He was at a show in Williamstown on Thursday night.
Okay.
And
yeah, he's getting out there a lot, so.
It was like, you know, I'm sitting there looking at him like, wait a second. I remember, you know, years ago when he was, what was it, a pirate or something?
Oh yeah. That's the one.
And he looks like a totally different person. Totally reinvented himself.
It's cool.
That brings me back to like what Bob Evans was talking about, man. Like talking to him, I feel like I had that conversation a decade too late.
Seriously, like he left me feeling pretty crappy about myself and like how we market the show and all the stuff that we do.
Well, I was just like, I could have done more. I was always like, I'm not going to make it big, so I'll just work for these companies and I'll be their guy. And I was like, I didn't want to travel.
That's kind of what I did.
I always thought that, you know, it's going to cost more to get there. So, you know, I got the great times. You know, I worked with so many amazing people. But man,
there was a time. Yeah, for sure. Like there was a time probably 11 or 12 years ago. It was when WrestleMania was up in New York with The Rock and Cena. Where I had an opportunity and I thought it was going to happen. I really did. Like I was all prepared with my broomstick promo and everything. You know, I was all ready to do it, and it never happened. I was real close, I thought, and like basically I never pursued it. You know, and that's something that like that'll be a regret now. Like, but you know, at this point. Obviously, I think things worked out for the best, and I probably would have been gone from the company right away if I had even somehow made it. So, but I think it was when I was like kind of going for that. I think it was the job that ultimately went to Renee, I believe, because it was around that time.
Yeah.
So, in any event, she's much better than I am. So,
and better looking,
and much easier to look at. Better,
yeah.
Like at least by 3 times, you know.
At least.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm better looking now than I was 10 years ago. Let's be honest.
And she might be like a New York 8, but she's a Philadelphia 10 for sure.
Yeah, she's a Toronto 20. So I'm kidding, Toronto. I love you guys up there. I love you guys up there with your maple syrup. I'm just playing.
Man. No, I thought way back when, man, when CZW really was about to take off, Kevin and I did some interviews with them, and I really thought that was my ticket in. I thought I was going to get picked up with them and kind of ride it out, and it just never happened. And then, never pursued it. I was like, it didn't happen, you know, but
we're in much the same boat. So
yeah,
for sure. It sounds like, yeah.
Making towns,
but, I mean,
you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, Kathy, you got a dream match? I'm trying to think what we've overlooked. Or Stro, you got one.
My dream match.
Okay, go for it.
This is a indie wrestler. Okay. I would love to see Breaker Moran wrestle Brett.
Why Breaker? And I love Breaker, but why Breaker?
Yep. Breaker is his favorite wrestler of all time is Bret Hart.
Okay. He's like Dax Harwood then.
Oh yeah, Dax less than Brett.
Yeah, he does.
An independent wrestler
Mm-hmm.
go against a legend.
I'm all for it as long as Breaker wins.
Just me. Just me.
No, that's cool. That's cool. And like I said, Breaker's an awesome guy. I would be all for that. I remember when he was doing the stuff when Tony Hitman Stetson, if you guys remember him, came out of retirement.
Stetson, yeah.
Tony the Hitman. He
Yeah.
was, when Hitman came out of retirement, Breaker was the guy that he worked with to get back into it. He was he trained with him, and he had that incredible match with him at the TWA reunion show, which ended up being a one-off promotion until like the guy bought ECWA and kind of merged them. It was
Speaking of ECWA, I just did a quick Google to see if one of my dream matches ever took place, and I found out it did in fact take place in the second round of the 2001 Super 8 tournament, which I probably could have went to, considering where it was and where I was.
I know.
Reckless Youth versus Bryan Danielson, like the
Very
original
nice.
indie darling versus who kind of came up and supplanted him. And apparently it wasn't that good of a match, which you never know. Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see that. In fact, they were selling those Super 8s for a while. I don't know if they're still available, but
when the show that reconnected us, I saw like every Super 8 DVD there. It was incredible.
Okay. Yeah, that was the hustler that was Mike Tartaglia for sure. So,
Do you still have that fruit smoothie place?
He does. I think that's
next time I'm in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Next time I'm in Atlantic City, I gotta go.
Yeah. It's not there anymore. It's in like. It's like over by like Washington, over by where that show was, that little student show that you guys came to.
Yeah.
It's over there somewhere. Yeah. So, speaking of Super 8, by the way, making history, ECWA. What's that? What's that, Kevin? What?
Fruity juice.
Fruity juice, yeah.
Fruity juice, yeah.
Yeah, fruity juice, yeah. I always say that stuff like, if you're feeling bloated, drink some fruity juice. That'll clean you right out, man. Like it will just empty everything out of your system. Yeah. So anyway, ECWA making history this past weekend, actually. Well, first of all, their debut show on YouTube, which I feel really bad. I was supposed to send them stuff for it, and I never did, and they went ahead and did the show without me. So I feel kind of like crap for that, but ECWA did their Saturday morning program on YouTube, their first one, and they announced that Erica Lee, who we've had on the show, is going to be the first woman to compete in the men's Super 8 this year.
That's awesome.
Right.
So she's so intergender wrestling comes to the ECWA, I guess.
Yeah, Chaotic Wrestling has done away with any gender on their titles. They have the Panoptic title and the Heavyweight Championship, and I always forget how to pronounce her name, and I see her all the damn time. I remember when she came in green as anything. I think it's Davian was the Chaotic Champion for a short period of time. And I know one of the other ideas that you floated for the conversation was, who do we think could hit? And man, JT Dunn, since the second I saw him, I was like,
sure,
that guy's the superstar. Trained with oh my God, why can't I think of Dave's last name? For over here in New England, he went to Japan for a little bit. He was big with Chaotic. Oh, Dave, I'm so sorry. I'll have to think of your name. Tell you, this COVID brain stuff, man, like it's no joke. My memory has been shot since I had it.
That stuff will turn your mind into mush, as they would say. Goodfellas, So, yeah. Well, that was another idea I had.
Dave Cole.
Wise, right?
Dave Cole. You're trained by Dave Cole.
Okay.
Thank you. We needed
okay.
To. Yep.
Yeah. No, that was another idea I had, kind of like floating it, and again, if this is something that you guys maybe want to explore tonight, who is like a surefire can't miss prospect that's gonna really develop into something? I mean, it could be the Indies, it could be somebody that's signed with a major company and they're just really not being used like they could. An example of that I can think of right away is Joe Gacy, who, like, I remember when he got signed and I thought, like, that guy's incredible. I've done so much work with him on the independents and the creativity. Like, we did one promotion where he was coming in and he just did like 2 shows, like monthly shows, you know, where it was just like a 5-minute vignette of somebody in the woods with a chainsaw, just going around, like just kind of just talking about how they were going to stalk and kill and blah, 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 all these different, and it was amazing. It was an amazing, amazing promo set that he did. And that was all him, you know, very creative guy, Kathy, you know that.
About Casey.
Yeah. So he's somebody I think, and he doesn't have the traditional like body shape, you know, he's going to come up and he's going to be like a shorter Kevin Owens, but, you know, he's good. He's really good at what he does. That's somebody that comes to mind. On the independent level, somebody, and I don't know how familiar you guys are all with the independents, but one name that always comes to mind for me is Azrael.
Yeah.
He was with CZW for a little bit, NYWC, and he's that guy's amazing, you know. And he's finally like, because for years I think his problem was that he was a baby face and he never really got to show that personality like he would have liked. But when he turned bad a couple years ago, that was like when he went to a whole other level. Like it is, and he's done a bunch of shows for like AEW. I know he's done Dark for WWE, but like he's somebody I'm always amazed never got in there, because I think when they were recruiting all those indie guys, he would have been perfect. Just a thought. So yeah. So, you know, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about that. We actually have a caller. Let's go to 804, which I believe is Steve down in Virginia. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man. Love me 2 times. Love me twice today. Too sweet Tuesday. Oh, well. Oh, well. Hey, ask
they're going to come after you now for doing that.
Who, Jim Morrison from the grave?
No. You too sweet. That WWE's owns that. They're going to come after you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they're going to cease and desist me.
I'm going to get a copyright claim on my YouTube probably. Not for Easy Street, but for that.
Hey, ask Mountie about Dean Ambrose cosplaying as him.
I will, but I'll do it off air because it's pre-recorded. But I'll ask him. And see what he says. Yeah. I didn't know that John Moxley cosplayed as him. As the Mountie?
Brian was corpsing when it happened. Yeah, I shared the picture on the thread in your inbox.
Sorry, man. I'm not as social media as I used to be.
Got all those wedding plans to make.
That's seriously, man. I felt like George Costanza's fiance Susan there, like licking envelopes tonight. I thought like I'm gonna die from this. I'm gonna die, and it's gonna be because I bought the cheap envelopes, Kathy. Whoop. Anyway, what's going on, Steve?
Not much. Just I wasn't too impressed with the men's chamber match. Like, the finish was great, but I really wanted to see Brock in there with Lashley and Riddle more, and they were all fodder for Brock.
I would have rather them said that Lashley had a shoulder injury and put a 6th person in there, because it made Lashley look weak to do that. Stro, did you see the pay-per-view? I felt like they really kind of... Like, I felt like they really diminished Lashley's value with that. Like, there were so many better ways that they could have done that.
Honestly, though, word that I got was he was hurt even before going in there from the last pay-per-view. So
right.
And if you notice, that's why the tapings leading up to the Elimination Chamber, Lashley didn't do anything leading up to that.
Yeah.
He was still suffering an injury. So, you know, it sucks there was no interaction, because I was looking forward to him and Lesnar doing more too. But I could see why things happen now after looking back, you know, after hearing what's about the injury before.
I think that's a lot of people's dream match. Still, there's people who want to see that. Personally, I think I've said it on the show before. I'd rather see a shoot. I have no interest in seeing these two work. I have no interest in seeing Brock work, really. Like, I've seen it. I mean, for me, he peaked with his Hell in a Cell against The Undertaker. It's one of the best matches I've seen. You know, it's tremendous. And apparently he went into business for himself, which I guess when you're Brock Lesnar, you can do that.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Well, it looked amazing. To his credit, it looked freaking amazing. Him coming out of that pod.
Yeah.
It looked like he looked like the Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously that wasn't planned. You talk about like wanting to see them shoot, and like, yeah, if you think about like when Brock was really at his best, it was really when he was in the ring with Kurt Angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like those series, and I know it was brutal. It like devastated both of them, like injury wise, but like.
Well, especially that Mania
really
match with the botched shooting
the
star.
shooting star. Oh, that was scary as hell.
They both. Then we almost redid it with. I can't believe I'm saying this with Madcap Moss. Like what in the world happened there?
Yikes!
That dude's lucky, super lucky.
Yeah. He could have been like Droz.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy. It was And it's a move, again, I guess that's why they say it is in ballet, like it's a move that you see a million times that, over the head kind of, and for some reason, I don't know if he thought he was going to roll through somehow.
I think he went too early. I think he just went too early. Like looking at it, he wasn't all the way up and he started going down, so.
No, thank God he's okay.
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
So, yeah. But I mean, but from my end, as far as Lashley, to take back to your thing, Steve, like I would have rather them said Lashley had a shoulder injury. He's going to have to pull out of this match and do rehab immediately, in the hopes of getting back maybe for WrestleMania. And I would have rather them put a sixth person in there. I would have rather had Randy Orton in there. I know it's just another person for Brock Lesnar to go after because that's kind of what he did. He just kind of went in and. That's what's weird about the whole Brock Lesnar thing for me. I think it's like they spent so many years using him to make other stars like Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre, and it's like now they're back to where he's unbeatable. And I don't really see a rhyme or reason to it,
Elevate Roman later.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be elevate Roman. What I would like to see them do with the two titles, and I've talked about this many times in the past, because I think it's what they should do every year. Title for title at WrestleMania. Now Roman's got both belts. Now he should defend the one belt on Raw, and he should defend the other belt on SmackDown, and just keep going at that pace until he loses one of them.
I would go the opposite way. I would say that it's one belt. You have one world champion for WWE. If it wants to be a universal champion, sure. And then you're elevating the U.S. and the Intercontinental Championship on those programs because the world champ's not always going to be there, So
I like that. Yeah, there's basically been two formulas that we've talked about for the last 20 years. Yeah. And I thought the brand split was most effective when they only had one champion.
Yep.
To me, it's like they're all secondary titles when you don't have one clear-cut champion.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That another scary moment. You have to admit the F5 that Austin Theory took from Brock at the top of it. That was insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. The only way it would have been better is if he did a shooting star press off the pod after he did it.
Oh dear God.
Really finish him off.
Mercy. Brady, you're so sick.
I'm kidding. I'm a heel. What else you got, brother?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Stro, did you hear about the Bullet Club infighting going on that happened on Impact?
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
I thought it was an angle. It's an angle. It's an angle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay White kicked out the GOD, Girls Destiny, and the Good Brothers. He's formed an alliance with them, and I wonder, if this is a good decision because the Tongans, you don't want to kick them out. You don't want to piss off the Tongans.
Oh my God, no!
And
dear God.
Hopefully they were in on it.
What was he thinking?
Oh man!
It's like Charles Bronson.
Can you imagine?
Well, if you follow,
go get Daddy.
If you follow Tama Tonga's Twitter, he's been He's been really upset with Jay White working AEW and working with the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
I got to say, in all my years of doing the podcast, there's only been one time on the show where I felt afraid for myself while I was on the air, and that was interviewing Haku. Just because I felt like his words were enough to just like take me out, you know? It was scary. It was scary.
It surprises me, Jay White, though, because he's like more of a serious wrestler, and just him and the Bucks is like night and day, like different. You know what I mean? And it's like you would think Jay White would align himself with more serious competitors like him. You know what I mean? Like
Lance Storm.
Right.
And now the Good Brothers are fighting or turned on the Tongans. I never thought I'd see that either.
That's
I
crazy.
guess I wasn't happy with the Good Brothers working with the Elite.
See, I was far more bothered by the fact that they did 2 turns on the same show in back-to-back matches. That bothered me a lot more because like they did Eddie Edwards, one with Ring of Honor. I was like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah.
Come on, you're only supposed to do one of those a show.
It was funny one time that there once started a program with Barbarian and Ming Haku in WCW after their match because their match was so solid, and it was brought up to them starting the actual program together, and they turned it down. Said no, that one match we had, we almost killed each other.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
We want no part of this ever again.
Yes.
It's so funny, like, for me, because, like, as a fan growing up, I remember when, like, Haku teamed with Andre the Giant, and I thought, like, my God, like, Haku really found himself a great buddy because he ain't doing anything without Andre by his side. I had no idea, Stro. I had no idea.
I was thinking,
year-old me didn't know.
Who's going to beat these guys? Jesus, got the biggest guy in the world, and you got the toughest man in the world. And
exactly.
My God.
The answer is the Axer and the Smasher.
Thank God. Thank God Francis Smasher.
They'd still be tag team champions today.
They would, even with one of them gone, you know?
That's one of the funny things. Like, you never know. Like, you hear the stories about who the legit tough guys are, and you're like, what if they really didn't want to drop the belt that day? You know, that's why you heard, oh, Mike Awesome's a real tough guy. He's going to drop the title to Taz. We're not giving him any chance to mess around.
It's funny.
I heard Dan Severn wanted to shoot in the Rumble, but went against that.
Yeah, I remember him talking about that when we had him on the show. Yeah, and the other thing was like he got really upset because of the whole like brawl for it all thing, because like he felt like, you know, if we're legitimately doing this, like there's no way I wouldn't win, you know, unless like Ken Shamrock's in there, and then like maybe he's got a chance, but like generally, you know, I believe that was when he kind of left the company, was around that time because of something like that.
You know what's funny is like Severn, if he took himself less seriously, could have been a much more successful Steve Blackman.
Oh, for sure.
That's that nice niche he could have filled. He could have been like, he probably could have got a title run.
He could have been there with could have been him and Head Cheese for all you know.
Head cheese.
Wasn't that great? That was great. Head cheese.
God, I just remembered that when you said it.
Head cheese. Oh, Steve. What are we going to do with you?
Sen Haku.
Dude, why would you say that?
What do you think about Cody?
I got Death of Wish.
I'm thinking Cody's still going back to AEW. I don't buy it.
No.
What do you know?
Because he deleted a post saying that he was retired. So it's just I think he does. I think the rumor is that he was in Orlando area filming. That's what the last I heard. The update was that he could be at the PC filming stuff, is what I heard.
Well, Omega in one of his last interviews was like, "Yeah, I think he's on his way to Saudi Arabia right now." I'm like, "You're just making me feel more like it's a work. I don't like this at all. I don't like being worked. That's the worst part. Whenever you have like some attachment to the business at all, and you're getting worked, it's the worst feeling. It's like I should figure this out.
It just makes me skeptical all the time.
Here's what I'm saying. I got it all booked out. Is next week on Raw, Stephen Amell is the guest host, and the Peacemaker comes out to deal with the comments that Stephen Amell made about him on Twitter.
Peacemaker.
And then he is no longer John Cena. He is just the Peacemaker. And then
I want to see him fight Drax. There's a dream match.
Peacemaker
versus Drax.
Wow. Oh.
I have some.
Well, hold on, Steve.
My theories are he did it.
Go. Okay. I was just going to say, Pat, finish your thought.
Oh, and then obviously Cody Rhodes comes to save Stephen Amell.
Oh, not the Peacemaker. He's coming to save Stephen Amell.
Yeah, it's his friend, Stephen Amell.
Okay.
Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Cody will take a month off, and then the next time they're promising a big surprise, it's going to be Cody coming out and winning back the TNT title. That's what I think it's going to be. They only have so many surprises left, Steve. They got to start swerving their own people.
Well, I think he either shows up in Jacksonville because there's a Raw in Jacksonville, or he shows up either at WrestleMania or the day after the Raw after WrestleMania.
I
agree. Option for him to show up.
Yeah.
Oh, don't.
I agree.
That show's such a terrible show. Always. I hate the Raw after WrestleMania. And then the fans took it over. And the one time it was fun with Brian, but then it's just been like, we all get to go and be stupid. Yeah. I'm telling you, if I don't see Shane McMahon tomorrow at AEW, I'm going to be very upset.
Is he promising another surprise?
No, I'm just making this up.
Oh, okay.
Because it's in Connecticut. They're coming into WWE's region.
Yeah.
Good.
Probably be the Road Dogg.
Don't you tease me.
He's got new merch, by the way.
He did promise something.
He's going to join the Ass Club.
Yeah. I believe they're called the Ass Boys.
Yeah.
The Ass for Men. Sorry. Go ahead, Steve. That was a bad one anyway.
No, I just think he's definitely shown interest in WWE. I think there's too many updates for it not to be happening. I mean, yeah, I would love to see it be at work and he turns heel and joins a faction or something like
the Elite.
Starts a heel faction, but I just don't think that's going to happen. Well, I mean.
Okay. You know what's interesting? The Nightmare Factory is still the Nightmare Factory even after Cody's gone. I do find that intriguing.
I think Dustin's running that.
Yeah. But Cody is the Nightmare.
And I think Arn could still be managing a tag team from that, Brock and whoever he's teaming with.
Who could?
I know Brian is starting a faction.
Brian.
Arn was managing, and then
Brian needs a faction.
Brian might be starting a faction.
Yeah, Brian needs a faction. He's got to be with somebody. Everybody does.
Like romantically,
or
he wants
to do that with Moxley and
Gang Wars. It's AEW Gang Wars.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Like Christian goes with the Dinosaurs, and CM Punk goes with Sting and Little Sting, and who else? There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there. Sting Jr. Oh boy. Yeah, Steve. Anything else, man? Any dream match? Is there anything left?
I guess Mountie versus Lance Storm. Mountie versus Moxley, maybe.
Mountie versus Lance Storm or Mountie versus Moxley?
Steve, you're talking my language. Anytime you can include Lance Storm in a dream match, I am in. Yeah. I mean, give me Lance Storm and Jericho one more time. That's who should send Jericho on his merry way.
Seekers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
I'd like that. Yeah.
God, why haven't we seen this in AEW? I mean, God, that would be so much more entertaining.
I mean, just give it a one-off feud. You're like, he steps in because Jericho's lost his mind. He forgot who he was. He's running around with his rock and roll friends in his inner circle. But this used to be about the wrestling. And if I could be serious for a moment, promo writes itself.
And they can play old Canadian thrill seeker videos and vignettes these days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Con has all the money in the world. What's that going to cost you to buy from Stampede or whoever has that?
It's like Cornette owns it. So, actually, it might be WWE now.
It might be WWE now.
I think it is, because they used to have the Smoky Mountain on the...
Yeah.
Like, Stro is on the WWE network via Nitro and via Smoky Mountain, so...
Stro, do you ever get nice residual checks from WWE? Somebody's been watching an episode of Nitro you were on?
You getting the peacock in an envelope?
I should. I wish. I really do. I'd be
they don't
willing to
give
do
you
right now
guys
if I did.
residuals. They don't give you guys residuals for the network, do they?
Oh, wow.
No.
Did you have to sign something, or was it just we own it?
No, they just started playing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because when they used to sell DVDs, if they sold a DVD that had you on it, they had to pay you for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to, but I guess that was a network.
Oh boy.
Hey, look! I see myself on the network.
What about
You should at least get some stock options or something.
Hager.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
This might not ever happen, but I'd love to see Jake Hager versus Walter. Two big guys just shooting.
Jake Hager versus Walter.
And,
yeah.
Doesn't Walter have a different name now? Isn't he more Nazi somehow?
Gunther.
Gunther.
I don't acknowledge Gunther.
I'd like to see CM. I'd like to see CM Punk against Goldberg in a shoot last man standing.
I don't think Phil survives that one. We've seen how he does in shoots, and it ain't great.
Like Mussolini! Get me out of here!
There was something interesting that happened recently. Drake Maverick is Rockstar Spud is with Creative. I'm kind of surprised he's not with. I'm surprised he's not with EC3's Control Your Narrative group. Like they're starting a promotion.
That's a whole.
It's money, man. It's money.
Well, and security. You don't know what's going to happen with Control Your Narrative.
Yeah.
Yep. AJ just resigned with them. WWE.
Well, what I'm saying.
AJ did.
I'm saying it's interesting because. It's interesting because he filmed a vignette with EC3 a while back, I think, or he did a really good vignette after he left.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna have a good indie run, but I'm happy for him if he wants to work creative. I think it's interesting. A lot of the wrestlers get into creative.
Good for him.
It's only he's gonna have a cameo. Go ahead.
I was saying AJ resigned with him too.
Yes, and that's a huge deal. That is a huge deal. And the guy is 44 years old, so what's he going to wrestle for another 5 years? I mean, he's good, so he could.
Yeah,
he could. I mean,
he looks so young.
I guess 50 is the new 45. So it's but Drake, I fully expect a Drake Maverick cameo at WrestleMania involving the 24/7 title. Just because he's there. So, yeah.
I don't like what they're doing with that. The bit with Dana Brooke and that gentleman, I can't remember his name. He has a one because you only get one name in WWE.
Javier or Frederick or Reggie. What was that?
Reggie. There it is. Reginald.
Reggie. Yeah.
I'm like the whole.
I like Javier better.
The whole kiss for a pinfall gimmick. Oh yeah, come on. Aren't we beyond this?
Yeah. I was really hoping that he was going to roll her up. 1, 2, hooker, over. But I'm a heel, so that's what I would have liked to see. Yeah. The other thing with Drake Maverick, and this always amazed me. He's got a really, really hot wife, Renee Michelle. who's a pretty decent independent wrestler. She's done like the Mae Young Classic, and I know she's been in like the NWA and Impact. She's been around for a while. She was with ECWA.
It's still to this day like one of the best things I've seen.
The wedding thing?
Yes. Oh
but, like,
my God.
Part of me, it always amazes me the amount of people that they sign, and they really seem to like Drake Maverick, that they're not even giving his wife a shot on NXT. It always kind of baffled me.
Yeah, they just signed Roxy. I think, Michelle definitely. She worked the Mae Young Classic, and I love
she did.
She did. In Richmond, so
and she did that NWA tournament, and she's been in Impact, and I mean she's been all over. You know, worked dark a bunch of times for AEW, and they had her like in angles on WWE. I'll get out of Renee Michelle's ass now. I just wanted to just point that out. I just thought it was. I didn't mean that literally. You know what I mean?
I think it'd be great I think it'd be great if you worked at either WWE or AEW. I'm surprised AEW didn't sign her either.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I think this might not happen, but I'd love to see Stro in that Control Your Narrative promotion. I'd love to see him work with like Karrion Kross or Killer Kross, because they seem like they're more cinematic.
Let me do my Cody Rhodes AEW vignette pose.
Bro, you want to be in there in the ring with that big maniac?
Hey, I've been there with worse.
True.
Maybe you'll get him on an off night like Jeff Hardy did, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, catch him off guard. 90 seconds.
Maybe it's ticklish.
Good strategy. Let's see how it pays off.
Oh, I can tell you a funny story real quick. You guys enjoy this. So this was like one of the Nitros. I'm warming up one of my mats in the gorilla position. And the match before me was supposed to have been Hugh Morris and Haku, right? Ming?
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't find him anywhere. And then you heard commotion in the next door. And everybody's going, oh my God, these guys are fighting, right? And next thing you know, these big behemoths busted the double doors, knocking the agents down to the ground. And what it was, Hugh Morris was chasing Haku around trying to tickle him, right? and finally got Haku on the ground, started tickling him, and Haku was like holding his armpits, laughing and everything. Oh man, it was the funniest thing ever.
I love it. Yeah. All right, Steve. Take care, brother.
All right, peace be upon you.
And also with you.
And with your spirit? Is that what we're supposed to say now?
Lift up your heart.
As with you.
He is right and just.
As with you.
What? Yeah. What about me versus Alexa Bliss in a tickling match? That would be a dream match.
Your future wife doesn't listen to the show.
You know what the worst part was? Yeah, go ahead. I got a funny story.
Everybody talks about, you make your hall pass list, and just joking around about it. I was like, I started to be like, the Bella, she's like, you know them. I'm like, I introduced them at a show once. Like, nope, don't count. You know them. She's like, no one in the wrestling business is on your hall pass list. But that is patently absurd.
Yeah.
Then, so my legitimate job, I was talking to you about it right before we went on, is I work with people with disabilities, and so I've been really involved in Special Olympics, and WWE, being in Connecticut, is really involved in Special Olympics. And Paige was there, and my wife knew I had very strong feelings towards Paige, and I was like, oh, babe, I'm going to drop my guy off because his obsession with wrestling was not great. And I'm like, I'm going to go see Paige. She's like, no, you're coming home. And I'm like, come on, this is ridiculous. I was like, I just want to meet somebody. I respect her work. She's part of the revolution. She's like, home. No one in wrestling.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now. But yeah, for years that was not the case. So, it's funny because we don't do hall pass type stuff. We haven't, but you know, it's kind of generally known that she would be my, you know. I have a little cardboard picture of her because like we've got like just different stuff decorating the bathroom mirror. So I've got a little Alexa Bliss in the corner of the bathroom mirror. And I come out a couple weeks ago to like brush my teeth, and I look down, and next to Alexa Bliss on the mirror is the backup copy of Kelly's passport photo, just looking seriously angry at me. Right next to the Alexa Bliss picture. It's amazing. It's totally amazing.
That's awesome.
Let's go to Tora before we kind of get out of here. What's going on, Tora? You there?
What's up?
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up? How you doing?
Not much. Doing okay. It's cold down here.
Nothing, honey. How cold is it?
About 37.
37? That's nothing. It's negative 37 here. I actually just froze when I was outside. Kelly had to come with the blow dryer and like blow my feet just so that I could come inside. Like, why are you laughing? It's like that Campbell's commercial where the kid turned into a snowman until they gave him some soup. That's what it's like outside, Tora.
It's cold.
Yeah. Hack is from New England. He knows what I'm talking about.
Billy.
Yeah. Yep.
That's good, Brady. That's a good one, Brady.
Thank you. Thank you. I never plan this stuff out, believe it or not. It just kind of comes to me as we're going. What? Anything else, Tora?
Thursday is my birthday.
Well, hold on. Wait, when is your birthday? It sounds like you're in the bottom of a well.
Oh, the ring.
It's on a Thursday.
Your birthday's Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
And I know I should never ask a lady her age, but I'm going to guess you're somewhere around like 22. She laughs like a witch. I always say this, like a fictional witch. All right, Tora, it's been real. I really miss you. I hope everything's good. All right, take care. Love you. That was fun. Good old Tora. Any other dream matches? Anything like that?
I hope we get AJ and Edge. While it's not anything that like I ever grew up like hoping for, I'd really like to see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get it. I mean, Edge did that open challenge. I don't know who else is accepting it. I guess they could change it up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. As usual, like the brand split messes everything up because like you've got some talent that just isn't going to be in a featured match, and that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of restricted by who they can fight, or they're going to be in a really crappy match, and I don't like that.
Or they're going to be with Logan Paul.
Yeah.
4 guys honestly who shouldn't even be on WrestleMania. Like I hate
there's
to
a dream
say
match for you: The Miz and MJF.
Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
That's what I'm talking about, Stro.
Although I don't really see the comparisons when they talk about they're the same guy, but that'd be a fun match to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You match the promos with those two.
Yeah.
I maintain that Mrs. promo on Talking Smack belongs in there with the pantheon of the all-time great promos. It's
the one with Daniel Bryan?
Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah. He still does all his moves. Like he stole them. And it was amazing. That feud kind of wrote itself. It was really cool. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, there aren't a lot of dream matches left. Like, I feel like everybody kind of... I remember a couple years ago, God, a couple. I really am old. 8 years ago, WrestleMania in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I remember on my Twitter pointing out that for the first time in WWE history, you had Bruno, you had Bruno, Hulk, Stone Cold, Rock, Brett, Shawn, and Taker all in one building. It was the first time it had ever happened. Imagine that 8-way match at WrestleMania. Bruno probably still would have won it.
I mean, you know, you book it that way.
Yeah. I don't know. 914-338-1885 is the number. Pat, I know you got to get out of here, man.
Yeah, man.
We got Jacques Rougeau coming up. So
I know. I'm excited.
The Mountie. I am the Mountie.
Go get him. I'll be back with my first AEW live experience.
Oh, man.
Yes. Can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will see you all next week. Enjoy the Mountie. Is that how? I'm the Mountie.
The Mountie.
That's much worse.
I'm not very good at it.
See ya.
Tell Adam Cole we said hi.
Yes.
Baby.
Bye. So that's what we're going to do right now. We'll take a commercial break. On the other side, Jacques Rougeau. Then after that, we will resume with the callers. 914-338-1885. It's In the Room on the VOC Nation Radio Network. And we'll be right back. Well, yeah, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special treat for you all here today. Joining us on the program is a legend in professional wrestling, multi-time champion, star with WWE, with WCW, and he is taking part on In the Room here tonight. We couldn't be more excited. The one and only Mountie, Jacques Rougeau. How you doing tonight, Jacques?
Oh, I am the Mountie. How you doing, Brady?
I'm doing well. I'm doing so well. We're so excited to have you here. You have truly lived the wrestling life, and I know people are going to be excited to hear your story as well as some of the stuff that you've got going on. First of all, Jacques, what's it like a day in the life of Jacques Rougeau?
Oh my God! You better have your running shoes or your tennis shoes on, because I'll tell you, it goes fast. A lot of things happen in one day in my life, and of course, every morning, well, as you could tell there, I'm still at the gym and keeping those biceps up and the chest up too there, and trying to look good. I'm 61 years old, so I'm trying to stay young. And actually, life is very good to me because, like you said, wrestling was my life, and wrestling was my dream when I was young, and I'm still living my dream again today.
And one of the great things about your dream is you're helping so many other people to realize that dream as well, which is really a great thing. Before we jump into what you've been up to over the last 20 plus years, and certainly what you're up to now with the Academy, is there like a quintessential moment that people look back at Jacques Rougeau that for you, the memory that like will always persist? Is there something for you that always stands out?
Absolutely, absolutely. I got a couple. You know, when you have 41 years of career like I had, you know, active for 41 years, you know, I have a couple of moments, and some good, some bad. And of course, that if I think of because I always like to start with the bad, because I finish with the good, is of course the altercation I had with the Bulldogs. That was a very sad moment in my life. It was very hard mentally for me to go through that, and that'll stick with me. A lot of people, after they've seen the episode of Dark Side of the Ring with Tom Billington, they understand what I'm talking about. But the good things, there's so many good things about wrestling that stick with me. And of course, if I go internationally, worldwide, I'm going to have to say that the great night that I spent in jail with the big boss man as the Mountie, that was one of the classics, of course. And but if I go on a local scene that could have been international, is the night in 1997 on the 11th of April at 11 o'clock at night when I beat Hulk Hogan with a pinfall right in the middle at the Molson Center in Montreal in front of 18,000 people, no interference, no gimmicks, no nothing, just a clean pin in the middle. That really brought my notoriety up. And then another time I think too that was fun too is when Raymond and I We won the tag team belts against the Hart Foundation in Montreal, which was never seen on TV. We won them here locally against the Harts, and by the time we ended up being on TV the next Saturday, because of a wrong guy being in the wrong ring at the same time, they took the belts away from us. And but that was so amazing. It was like there was 18,000 people, and there was like 5,000 people banging on my car when we got in the car. It was like winning a Stanley Cup. You know, that was absolutely amazing. Another thing too that I remember that I really, really enjoyed was the Quebecers with Carl Ouellette when we beat the Steiners in Manhattan Center. And the first night we ever came in the WWF as the Quebecers, we beat the Steiner brothers and remained 3 different times in the year that preceded that. As tag team champions of the world. So those are all great moments that I'll cherish probably for the rest of my life.
Well, I know that for you and certainly for the people of Montreal, the connection there runs so deep. There's so much history there with Montreal wrestling and your involvement in it. And I know that this program that you're kind of starting up, this Wrestling Academy, certainly kind of lends to that as well, helping people to achieve their dreams. If you could talk about the Wrestling Academy and kind of all the stuff that you've been up to since we've really seen you on TV last.
Okay, great. But before, I just want to end that last segment, if you don't mind, because of all the things that have happened to me in life. I do want to give a tribute to my father, Jacques Rougeau, and my uncle, Johnny Rougeau. My great uncle, Eddie Auger, was the first generation. We have 4 generations of wrestling. Then my brother, Raymond, who helped me a lot, and we helped each other, and my other brother, Armand, and my 3 sons that were wrestling too up till 3 years ago. So when people think about the Rougeau name and they think of what I've left behind and what I've done, I could have never done it without the path of my family before me, you know, and I just want to mention that it's like the reputation of the Rougeau got bigger and bigger from generation to generation, and I'm the one who, on the 3rd generation, I put all the crops in, you know, like I took all the credit, but it comes from
You're
somewhere.
reaping it.
Yeah, I'm reaping it, and I just want to say thank you to my whole family. Now, to going into project, you know, I got to tell you something amazing's happening in Canada, and there's so many things happening, but this project is the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. And even going to the WWF doesn't beat what I'm doing now, and that's how it's important and it means to me, because I am now 61 years old. I can still do a nip up on the floor. If I'm laying on the floor, I'll stand back on my feet in one shot just like that. I'm in great shape. And I helped a lot of wrestlers that are going to be performing in this Wrestling Academy coming up in Montreal. But the great thing about this concept, it's going to be for the first time the 10 provinces in Canada are going to be joining in. So from Halifax on the East Coast to Vancouver to the West Coast, I recruited the best wrestlers of all the independent wrestling federations, which many of those guys could have been in the big leagues. But, you know, I've always said in the wrestling business, it's always been at the right place at the right time or knowing the right person. And those people that I've recruited never had that chance. So I'm turning around and I'm passing the torch on. And now I'm breaking this big competition that's going to start in May, which we're going to have 12 shows. And at every show, we're going to eliminate 4 wrestlers out of female and male. We're going to be eliminated them. And yeah, of course, now you see on the screen a couple of the talent. That's the website, by the way, wrestling-academy.ca. You could go see all the talent. And what's fun about that is I made some really good deals here to put this thing together. With my girlfriend and I, it's our really pet project. And we've been working on this for 8 months. And what I've accomplished so far is amazing. Like getting the 4 winners that are going to be left at the end are going to be judged and chosen by QT Marshall from the Nightmare Factory, who's going to come to Montreal and be the judge of the last show. When there's 8 person that are involved, there's only 4 that's going to be going to exactly the Nightmare Factory. The 4 winners are going to go, and it's so funny because they're going to win $5,000 each, which is a lot for indie wrestlers. Indie wrestlers sometimes they can make between $100 and $200 a night. So now they're going to have an opportunity to win $5,000 each. 4 winners, some women, some men. But the biggest prize is not there. The biggest prize is QT Marshall is going to take these 4 winners and take them to the Nightmare Factory. I got to explain something to you that's really amazing. When I first approached QT with this deal, I don't know QT Marshall. I don't know the guy. And because of my falling out with Vince McMahon in 1996, I took it so personally that I turned the TV off, and I've never watched wrestling in 30 years. So if you talk to me about talent in the last 30 years, I don't know them. Of course, I know Stone Cold from my students, and I know Goldberg, and I know John Cena from the movies, and The Rock, I wrestled him before that. I know Kevin Owens because he was my student for 5 years. I'm the one who took him at 14 years old up to the 19 years old. He was in my school. So, but apart from that, I don't know any wrestlers at all. So QT Marshall for me was an unknown person. I was just referred to him like, hey, he's got one of the greatest schools in North America. So I reached out to him. And when I reached out to him, he had such a nice attitude towards me. He talked to me like almost I was a legend, you know, and it was amazing. So he gave me this deal. He said, Jacques, the 4 winners, I'd be gladly to take them in for one day at the Nightmare Factory in Atlanta and give them a tryout in the ring and just look at them over, look at their interviews, just evaluate them. And what happened from there is every podcast that I did around the world for the last months in Australia and Europe and everywhere, I've always put a video on that hopefully we'll be able to put on in a couple of minutes. And I showed that video. And what happened there is the phone started ringing at the Nightmare Factory from all around the world. So QT Marshall calls me up about 2 weeks ago and he says to me, he says, Jacques, what are you doing? He says, my phone is off the wall here. So he says, listen, you're doing a good job of marketing and all that stuff. Why don't I give your 4 winners 1 week instead of 1 day? So I'm saying to myself, wow, that's amazing, because I'll tell you why it's amazing. Because when you go there for 1 day, you never have a second chance to make a first impression. If you go in there, you're nervous, you're up to, you can't, your mouth is dry, and you know, you go and you try to do a good promo and that, it's hard. But if you go 7 days in a row, if you miss on Monday, you could try Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So anyway, all this happens, and then something amazing I think that the stars are lined up for me, because QT Marshall called me last week, and he sent me this video that we're going to see in a second, where he says to me, well, why don't we go just check it? Can we insert that video now if we can?
Hey everybody, this is QT Marshall from All Elite Wrestling and one of the owners of one of the best training facilities in the world, the Nightmare Factory. And I wanted to give a quick shout out to Nick, who runs a Rise podcast, and this evening has Jacques Rougeau on there. And Jacques has a great project in the works. I'm excited about it. In fact, the Nightmare Factory has even told Mr. Rougeau that the winners of this project will receive a special 3-month, 12-week scholarship to the Nightmare Factory, which has seen athletes from all over the world come train with us. And honestly, some have signed contracts with major wrestling organizations in the world, such as AEW and stuff like that. So I'm excited for this project. I think it's great for aspiring professional wrestlers all throughout Canada. I support it, and I hope that if all works out well, I'll be able to come up to Montreal and partake in being one of the judges of this special project. So good luck to everyone. Just wanted to say hello. Just wanted to let everybody know that it is me, and we are offering this scholarship to the winners. So you can read into it whatever you want, but you've heard it straight from the horse's mouth. It is true. And again, good luck to everyone, and hopefully see you soon.
Now, see, that's huge. That is huge right there. I mean, not only is QT affiliated with AEW, so this school, in a way, it's almost like a pipeline to achieving potentially success in AEW or other larger companies as well.
For sure. I hope you see me. I don't see myself there on the camera, but I hope you still see me. But anyway,
yes,
long story short is for him to go ahead and to say that we're going to have 3 months to be evaluated. Now that's amazing, because I'll tell you why it's amazing in my book. I honestly think that QT Marshall really cares about the Canadian wrestlers. And I also think he's taking this in like his pet project, you know, and so now we went from 1 day to 1 week to 3 months. Now, this is what happens in 3 months in Atlanta, Georgia. You're at the Nightmare Factory. All the big wrestlers that are based in Atlanta are flying out. They come and work out there. So you get to meet them. My talent will be able to get to talk with them for a long time. And then QT Marshall, he's there for the first week. He's busy, this, hi. Second week, hi. Third week, second month, it's like, hey, buddy, how you doing? Like, you know, and then the third month, he loves you. You know, if you're still there, it's because he loves you. And I honestly believe the talent is so amazing in Canada. The ones, if you go see on the website, wrestling-academy.ca, you'll see the talent. They all have a little promo of 30 seconds. You see their picture, you click on the picture. And I honestly think, now this is just something I'm calling, that it's nothing that I'm promising, but I think that there's a couple out of the 4 that can make it to the big leagues. And, you know, if that happens, I'll be the one who produced all that and made that. And you know, what made this competition so amazing is I've had friends from the past, all these guys that I used to work with every night, that they send me a nice little message of encouragement for the Canadian female and male wrestlers. And in that, you'll see so many people: Coco Beware, Tito Santana, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, $1 Million Man, Lanny Pop, and he goes on and on, GSP, MMA. You'll see all the people that I got into. But one of the most important to me, they're all important, but one of the most important to me is Bret the Hitman Hart, because he's the biggest icon that ever came out of Canada was Bret. So now he's
who's
turning
that guy?
around.
I'm only kidding. I said, who's that guy?
Yeah, and he's I like that. And and if we could show that video, what an amazing inspiration for the talent in Canada to say, hey, wait a minute, Bret Hart's looking at this. Oh, let's go into this.
Hey, this is Bret the Hitman Hart, and I want to wish all the best to Jacques Rougeau and his Wrestling Academy 2022. I know they got a big event coming up, a big contest, and a great opportunity for wrestlers across Canada, men and women, to train and maybe win $5,000 and ultimately get a chance to train with QT Marshall and the Nightmare Factory, and maybe get a chance to maybe wrestle for AEW. But all I know is this is a great opportunity for every young wrestler, and I want to just thank Jacques Rougeau for putting the idea together. I hope it works out really well, and may the best wrestlers win.
Well, there you go. There you go. The man best known for losing the Intercontinental title to Jacques Rougeau. Whoa, sorry about that. I'm only playing, of course.
That was a great time, though. Isn't it amazing to have Bret encouraging? And if you take the time, please, ladies and gentlemen, take the time and go see wrestling-academy.ca. You'll see all Coco Beware. You'll see all the Giant Kurgan. I'm naming them and I'm forgetting them. There's so many people that got behind me and got behind this project, this Canadian project. And it's so touching for all the Canadian wrestlers, the female and male, and myself, to know that these guys, they cared about me, you know. I've always been a sentimental kind of guy, and you know, and for me, it means the world to me.
That's very cool. Now, when you're talking about talent, and obviously, like you said, you've recruited the best from all around the country. What do you look for in the talent that you're bringing in for this?
Well, we're looking for the things that some places they lost, and you know, and I honestly think the wrestler that exists is the one that has a great ability in the ring, that has a great microphone, a good interview, a storyteller, but most importantly, charisma. And you know, if you have charisma, you know, the difference, if people ask me, well, Jacques, what's the difference between charisma and no charisma? I say, okay, you have a TV show in front of you, and you're walking in the lobby of something or a sports bar or something, and you look at the screen and you take a look at it, and there's two things that happens. You stop and you listen, or you keep walking. And that's bottom line. And that's what charisma is. Charisma draws people. Charisma stops people in their spot, and that's what I call charisma. And I have a lot of those talents. And listen, there's some talents in there. You got to go see those talents. It's amazing. And I'm not going to pick or choose one more in particular, but holy mackerel, you're going to see that they have a lot of natural talent. And the amazing thing, like we're talking about, is going 3 months to QT Marshall's Nightmare Factory with all that talent. Sure. Well, it's like I always say to somebody, you know, what the deal is those people that are sending down there, they all have nice cars that are all nice, beautiful cars that were washed. But QT Marshall, he's going to put the wax on it. And he's going to put the wax on the car. And so that's what it is. And you know what's amazing, Brady, about all this? And the most fun is, like, from Australia, from England, everybody's going to be following this on wrestling-academy.ca. And the fun part is we're going to have 3 judges by the ring. And they're going to judge every match that goes by at 40%. But at 60%, from all around the world, you're going to be able to text in to you decide to say who you keep and who you lose. Yeah, and it won't be for the winner of the match either, because we're going to flip that with a coin in the backstage, who goes over and who doesn't. But I assured that the merchant value of every character that's going to be on my show is going to be good. In other words, we flip a coin, you're winning, you're losing. Well, the guy who's losing is going to take 60% of the match. So he shines a little bit more than the guy who's going to win, because the guy's going to win, he's automatically going to draw some attention. So I'm going to make sure that everybody looks good in this competition. And what's fun also about this is even the losers are going to be winners, because for the last 8 months, they've already been on my website. And for the next 6 months, they'll be on the website. So everybody around the world is looking at my talent that is from Canada. So even if this competition is over for this year, because it's going to happen for the next 6-7 years, I'm sure. But for this year, let's say it starts in May, let's say, and it finishes in July. Then all these promoters that followed this, maybe you'll be sitting at home. Let's say my name is Chad Daniels, and I'm sitting at home, and the phone rings, and he lives in the West Coast. So he gets a call from Halifax on the East Coast, says, hey, listen, I've been following you on the wrestling-academy.ca, wrestling-academy.ca, and I'd like to book you. And so to get bookings, a lot of the independent companies in Canada will get to know each other. A lot of the companies don't even know they exist, the independent companies. So what a great, great thing for wrestling in Canada.
And it's so cool to see the outpouring of support from the wrestling community. Obviously, Jacques, a lot of people love you and really care about, what you're doing here. And I think it's a great way to kind of give back for all the years that wrestling has given you. Just so much love there. Any plans, if this really takes off, to continue doing this in a regular kind of timely fashion?
Well, I think already, you have the answer to that. I mean, because it's already so much bigger than I hoped for. I was hoping to do this in Quebec at the beginning, and then I got some inscriptions from Ontario, next door province. And then I said, oh, well, why not? And then there was Manitoba, and then there's Saskatchewan, and there was, so I just filled in. But the problem is the community of the world of wrestling is small. Like around the world, a lot of people know each other because they're in contact, the federations, like the Comic-Cons and all kinds of stuff. So what happened is after I started recruiting, going over the province, going to Ontario, I started getting emails from Louisiana, from Texas. I got one from Hawaii, and I'm going like, holy shit, whoa. What I'm doing right now, Brady, is there's so many things to work on, but now we're at the process of getting sponsors. Like all my talent from around Canada, I'm getting sponsors to pay for their plane tickets to come in and out for the whole competition. So, so when the guys are calling me, and then I got some from Europe. I got a guy in Europe wanted to join. I said, what? So I really put a stop to it. I said, we're going Canada this year, but next year, I really would like to have some hoods in there, some Mexican masks, and I'll make it North America, Mexico and United States and Canada. And who knows where it goes from there, So I think I'm on a good, I'm on a train right now. I'm going 100 miles an hour, but I don't know on which track I'm on. But we're just speeding. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you mentioned earlier the pride that you take when you see, for example, a Kevin Owens step in the ring and knowing that you had a hand in making him what he is. How much pride do you really take in helping to guide these young careers? Is it as big as when you were in the ring itself?
Well, to be honest with you, it's all a different stage and different era, a different time in your life. When I was young, I was a rooster. I wanted to. I was a lion. I was a tiger, and I had my values in life were like aimed to be the best. And then after a while, it was like surviving mode. And now it's more like in a mode that, when you grow older and you get more mature, which I needed to do anyway. So when you get more mature as you grow older, you realize the real things in life. The things that you have done in the past, you get to appreciate them more, because when you're in the battlefield, you don't see how many men you killed or how many armies you did. You just fight till you die. And that's one comparison. So now that's what I was doing in this world of wrestling. I was fighting, trying to survive. Now that everything's calm, I'm independent financially. So now I'm sitting back and I'm looking at this and I'm going like, wow, if I was 17 years old, before I went to Stu Hart in Calgary, to wrestle for Stu for my first territory, I wanted a break. And now I'm looking how important it was when Stu took me in. And I started, then I went to Mexico in 78, and then in 79 I went to Kansas City, and then it went on and on and on and on. But now I'm sitting back and I'm saying, wow, I did good for myself, shit, I did really good. I ended up I started in 77, and in 81, I was on TBS, seen across the country for Ole Anderson and Tommy Rich and all those guys, and Wahoo McDaniels and Thunderbolt Patterson, and we were seen everywhere. TBS was seen. And I didn't appreciate it then. I was just doing my job. And then I did WrestleMania 3, 94,000 people, and I did that. And then I went to Wembley, did 70,000 people. I went to the CNN Toronto, did 70,000 people. But all that was work, an arena, a gym, a hotel, and keep on going, And now that I look back and I see that I'm giving them an opportunity in life that I wanted and I wished when I was young, but I appreciate it much more today, being as an older person. So it means the world to me, like to see this and and I always say to my friends, we always talk and then I say, life is funny because life is like the only thing that really counts in life is memories. Because day by day, you walk, you work, you punch your card, you this, you that, and you don't see nothing. But what you do see is, oh, I remember that cruise ship I was on, or man, I remember that. So it's all memories. So now with all the memories I have on Coliseum videos and cassettes and everywhere and dolls, I got it all. I was lucky. And I only won the title, the Intercontinental title for 2 days. I gotta tell you, every doll that they have on the market today, they all have the Intercontinental title around my waist. And every picture I have, and I only had it for 2 days. I'm the shortest lived Intercontinental champion. But it's still, after 30 years, I go to Comic Cons. I was one last week. I'm going one in 2 weeks, and they all come up with that icon picture of me with the belt. As the Mountie, and so it's like, hey, I appreciate it more now than I did when I was in the battle. Of course,
you might still be the Intercontinental champion if it wasn't for that shock-proof vest. So
yeah, very funny. But you know what? I'll tell you, Piper had a bright idea, and the truth I got to tell you that was my idea. I just want you to know that I'm the one who asked Piper if he wanted to put that vest on because I wanted to think of a finish because only 2 days later, me being beat, it was like I wanted to think of a finish that didn't take all my merchant value away from me. My
right.
So I thought that was pretty smart, But where was I going with that? Anyway, I'll pass the next question. But there's so much things about the Mountie. Jesus Christ, I wanted to say something about it. Go ahead.
No. Well, I'll tell you what, my dad still brings that up to this day. We were watching it, together at the time, and it's one of his favorite memories for sure. You talk about being a lion and a tiger, and I got to tell you, like, I'm looking at you right now at, would you say you're 60 years old? And I've dealt with your former partner, PCO, as well. I don't know what they put in the water up there, but you guys look amazing, I have to say. So kudos to you.
I think, Brady, it's more like what you don't put in your mouth. And then, and it's like I'm 61 years old. I play tennis today. I go water ski still. I could do anything I want. The sports. I got knees. I got a neck. I got a back. I was very, very lucky. It's all my opponents that are hurting. But anyway, long story short is I'm very, very lucky. I had a healthy life. I never got into drugs. I never went into bars after the show to get drunk and end up in the morning. I never took Quaaludes. I never took cocaine. So I've always was this guy. You know what? I got to tell you something that you're going to appreciate, I think, Brady.
Okay.
I start telling this to people because I want them to understand, especially the boys. I want the boys to understand that because there never was a bad bone in me. I never was a person who was mean. I never had a mean bone in me in my life. Sometimes I was a loudmouth, and sometimes, I talk too much, and sometimes
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Well, it depends. So anyway, but all this to say that I realized over the years that now take the scale out. You're gonna laugh, but it's the truth. I admit it today. A normal person is up here, and an autistic person is here. And I might be somewhere, maybe here, So sometimes in life for me, Brady, things were bigger than what they really were, or they were the feelings that I had inside of me were taking me so intense. Everything was so intense. Example, I was the kind of guy that when I was in the dressing room, I had a lot of heat with some guys because I spoke my mind. I didn't. My mom used to tell me when I was young, I never listened to her, turn your tongue 7 times before you talk, and I was too spontaneous. I was like, and I remember sometimes I have this picture in my mind that comes a lot. There was one of the boys, I don't feel like mentioning him today, but he was in the dressing room, and Pat Patterson and Raymond and Ricky Martel and Dino Bravo, myself, we all spoke French in the dressing room. And he just came out of nowhere, and it was like, hey guys, why don't you stop speaking French? And he said it once, and then he went to complain to the office, to Pat Patterson, who was the right-hand man of Vince. So Pat, he came to see me, and he told me, quietly, said, Jacques, he says, do you mind speaking English? You'll have less heat. And I said, excuse my language. I say, fuck the heat. I'm fucking speaking French. It's my language, And then I'd hear the guys, and then I'd say, why don't you tell that to Tito Santana and Pedro Morales that are speaking Spanish, or the guys that Conquistador speak Spanish? I didn't care because I didn't feel they were talking against me. I didn't have that problem. I never was jealous of anybody. I respected the people that communicate more in their own language. It's just a native language. It's easier for them to speak. And it would be like the Times example, where I'd be on the road. And as you know, in those days, in the 80s and 90s, early 90s, there still is, but at that time it was bad. There was a big gap in the Canadian value in money. Like, if you made $1 in the States, I'd come home at let's say example, my big match I remember. I shouldn't say this, but I'll say it. I made $10,000 against the Moms, a Men on a Mission, me and Carl. I made $10,000, but I came back home, I put it in the bank, I made $14,000 because there was 40% more. But the guys who came to wrestle in Canada, if they made $1,000, they only made like $600 US. So sometimes the guys would take up the booking sheet in the dressing room and they'd say, "Oh, we're going to that Canada again." And I'd look. It wouldn't take me a second. It would hurt my feelings because that's my home. I'd say, "Hey, US is the same shit too. You have your problems, But I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have been so expressive. I should have shut my mouth on those little things. But that's where I picked up some heat in there. But I was a guy that my heart spoke. There's no gray zone in me. It's either white or black. And there's no like politician words. There's no things that you say to make everybody happy. I'm not like that. I have my opinion and I speak my opinion, and I've always done that. So it got me in trouble here and there down the road. But honestly, there was never, like I said, a mean bone in me. And I never hurt anybody. I never talked about, I never ribbed anybody. So I was always doing my own thing. But now that the scale where I'm at there, so I wish that some of the boys that see this, they're going to look back and they're going to say, wow, Jacques has grown quite a bit, man. He knows he's stupid. He's like, it's not like, so there was nothing. I love the boys. And so when I'm coming back to wrestling-academy.ca and I see all these guys that are doing these promos for me, for my concept and for the Canadian wrestlers, I'm so touched to know that they like me. That means a lot to me.
Well, you're a good guy, Jacques, and I think, when we're younger, we all say things sometimes that maybe you wish you could take back, but certainly you've made a lot of friends in the industry, and you can tell by the love and the outpouring of support for this particular academy as well. What I'm going to do, I'll make sure to include links with this in the show description so that people can check it out if they're listening and hearing about this for the first time. Jacques, I appreciate the time more than you know. Like I said, as a fan for me, as a writer, it just, it's something that this is a bucket list item for me because I was always a huge fan.
Thank you so much. And Brady,
thank you.
And don't forget to tell people, that's the biggest thing for me, is to go subscribe on wrestling-academy.ca and to vote, to follow this Canadian competition, and they could come and vote, for who they want to. It's going to be great to follow, and I'm much obliged for you taking the time and giving me the time to express this project.
And ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go to commercial break. On the other side, we're going to open the phone lines up, 914-338-1885. It's In the Room on the VOC Nation Wrestling Network.
VOC Nation takes you behind the scenes of the greatest moments in pro wrestling history.
$914-338-1885. It's In the Room on the VOC Nation Wrestling Network. right here live on VOCNation.com and your favorite podcast platforms. I'm Brady Hicks. He is the Stro. And, of course, we can welcome you guys as well. Like I said, 914-338-1885. Going to be on the air for probably about another 15 to 20 minutes. So if you want to call, please do. You know, we look forward to hearing from you here tonight. You know, it's strange, Stro, because we got Malcolm the last couple weeks. Last week we had almost everybody hit us, you know, and it was like this week it's just radio silence, as you will. But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's a good time, as always. Stro, before we kind of jump back in, what do you got going on this week?
Well, this Thursday night, WCW Retro, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on VOCNation.com. We'll be discussing the greatest moments in wrestling history. So if you have a great moment in wrestling history you'd like to share, please call in. That should be a good time. And then Friday night, on my horror sci-fi show, The Stro Zone, at midnight Eastern Standard Time on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Stro the Maestro. Friday night's feature will be Diary of a Madman, starring Vincent Price. So please tune in.
Very cool indeed. I'm trying to think, like, greatest wrestling moments. Like, that can be almost anything. It can be a match. It can be whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, match, moment.
Yeah.
All the above.
Let me think about that. I'll try and get one before we go off the show tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you to the Mountie, Jacques Rougeau. It was an amazing time, as always. And it sounds like he's got this amazing program out of Canada. So if you go to the website, it's wrestling-academy.ca. You can learn all about this contest. The winner, of course, will get to train with QT Marshall in the Nightmare Factory, which is kind of loosely affiliated with AEW. So, hey, you never know, you know, it could be like boom, 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 and suddenly you're in AEW playing your trade, which would be really great. I wish they had these for podcasters, Stro, although...
wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. I suspect we'd fly under the radar anyway.
What a great opportunity for someone.
It is really cool. Yeah. And Jacques is such a great, like, judge of talent, you know, because not only was he talented and surrounded with it in the Montreal scene and his family and everything, but he even, like, handpicked students. Like, he's the one that plucked Kevin Owens out of obscurity and taught him how to wrestle, you know? So if he's got that kind of an eye, hey, man.
Absolutely. One of the all-time best, Jacques Rougeau.
Well, absolutely. It's funny, like, my dad isn't a huge wrestling fan, but he still talks about the shock-proof vest like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Tremendous.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Let's go to the phone. We actually have Rat Boy on the line. This will be fun. You heard of the Mountie, right? Well, he would be the Minty.
The Minty.
What's going on, pal?
Oh, man, I tell you what, man. Put it this way.
We should dress him up like the Mountie.
Oh, it'd be great.
Take him to a convention dressed like the Mountie. Go ahead, Rat.
Yeah.
Give him a little shock stick.
The Ratney.
I think this is the first year the Elimination Chamber was good.
I thought it was good, too. I thought, you know, the only complaint I had...
It was great.
The only complaint I had is I felt it made Bobby Lashley look really weak. I would have taken him out of the match if he had a legitimate injury and put a sixth person in there. Give somebody else an opportunity.
Yeah, that'd have been
That's
good.
what I would have done. Yeah. Because, like, as it was, like, Tyson, not Tyson, what's his name? The selfie guy. You know, that guy. By the way, his selfies, he posted the selfies online. They were hilarious. He's got, like, the one with Brock, where Brock's, like, glaring at him. He's got, like, the one with, like, Bobby Lashley, where Lashley's, like, all, like, angry. Like, Lashley's like this. Yeah, Austin Theory. And the third one, he's with Riddle. And he's with Riddle, and Riddle's just, like giving him the thumbs up, smiling. It was really funny. To me, it made Lashley look so weak. Tyson, Austin Theory goes through the glass back first, gets up and wrestles the rest of the match and makes it to the end. But Bobby Lashley, who's inside, bangs his head and they carry him off. I would have put Kevin Owens in there or somebody else. There had to have been somebody. You know, that's what I would have done, just personally. But whatever, it's okay.
Oh, Kevin Owens would have been great.
But there's one thing.
Go ahead.
There's one thing I'd like to see, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. Alexa Bliss was swinging in her little chamber there, but there's one thing. She didn't change into Lily.
There is no Lily. There's no more Lily. By the way, Cheryl, I was
changed into Lily.
Yeah. I was really.
No, she's supposed to be changing into Lily.
So I was really disappointed by that, Stro, because for the last 2 months she's been going to therapy to learn how to not be like she was, and then she came out like she was.
Well, minus the magic. She didn't have the magic like she usually does.
Well, I know. So if anything, the therapist took stuff away from her.
Right.
Because she had magical powers before. Now she's just a child without magical powers. I thought we were going to get the that, you know, and the that's what I thought we were going to get, all that stuff, and we didn't get any of it.
I was hoping so.
And then we didn't even get her on Raw after all that.
Yeah.
Not even a mention. So I got a real bad feeling I got a real bad feeling she's going to get cut soon. I got a real bad feeling about it.
I think Bliss's therapist should be fired.
Yeah.
You're fired.
She might go to SmackDown.
Maybe. I don't know. I just got a feeling she's. You know when Maria got fired from WWE the first time, Stro, we actually had a funeral on the show because she was my favorite at the time. I can't imagine what I'm going to do the day when Alexa Bliss gets let go because of budgets, and I know it's coming because they're obviously not investing in her.
That's such a shame.
It is. Because she is like a generational type talent, like once in a generation.
And a good actor too.
Yeah, tremendous. It's a shame. It is. Now I did hear a report that they wanted to do a double pin with her and Bianca, and have Bianca get her shoulder up at the last minute, just so that Alexa could kind of keep the shine. But they didn't do it, and they didn't put her on Raw. And she's still a child, just without magic now.
You know what would be a great alliance for Alexa right now?
It might come out.
You know what would be a great alliance for Alexa right now? And I saw a little bit of it in the chamber. Can you imagine her and Rhea Ripley coming together?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. That'd be really good.
Maybe they go for the tag titles, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Then you get Nikki Cross jealous about it. I like it.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead,
They got Molly Holly. She might come back.
Yeah,
Molly
maybe.
Holly might come back.
Maybe.
The superhero.
Maybe. I will say this. Like most WWE shows the last 10 years,
yeah,
the highlights were in the people coming back. You know, the highlight was Lita. Like, she was like probably the most over person in Saudi Arabia. Like, she came out. That reaction was insane.
Mm-hmm.
For a one-off match. Same thing with Goldberg. Like, he didn't have the best showing against Roman, but the crowd loved him.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I have no doubt they're going to re-sign him for more.
Lita, too.
They did like Lita, too. That's a good point, Rat Boy.
Yeah. You should have seen her. You know, she walked out of the ring all of a sudden. She had to come back and give her a standing ovation one more time.
Right.
Because I saw that part. When she left the ring, she said, no, she can't do it this way. She had to get back in the ring, get on that top rope, and thank you, everybody.
Yeah. I would have rather she was in WrestleMania.
And now.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing though, the Undertaker 2022. Who is China going to be in there too this year? We're going to find out. We should come. I want to see China go in this year with the Undertaker.
I like China. I would put China in, but you see Bully Ray. I don't know if you saw what he said. Bully Ray said that the Undertaker should be the only inductee this year. That's how important he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's always a but with me, isn't there? I like the Undertaker, but I like the Undertaker had he retired in 2012, 10 years ago. That's when I would. I mean, by the time, like when he lost the streak to Brock Lesnar. I don't think he should have still been going in that capacity at that point. Like, it got to the point where it was silly to have The Undertaker beating people.
Yeah.
And I think that's a shame. I say that with no disrespect. Go ahead.
There's one thing I like to see, okay?
Okay.
One more match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. After the Hall of Fame. That could happen.
Well,
think about
it. We're watching them.
The last ride right there at WrestleMania.
We're watching them wrestle with walking.
After the whole thing. You know who's going to do this, right? I mean, you want me to tell you who's going to be interfering with The Undertaker? Austin Theory. I need a picture of him.
Maybe what they'll do.
Think about it.
You know what they could do? This would be fun. So, like, you know how the Hall of Famers come out on the ramp and they announce them and everything, right? So they have The Undertaker there, and you have Austin Theory come out and, like, trying to get a selfie with him, and Undertaker could choke slam him off of the stage. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be a funny selfie, too.
Austin Theory's going to do something. Yeah, just think about it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to, though.
But today, okay? I'm talking about today. We only got an hour left. I just want you guys to enjoy your quack say, the last hour of it, the quack hour.
I don't know what you're talking about, but we got just a couple minutes, so.
Okay. I-22 is the bingo ball, right? There's the 22nd, right? We call the 22 the quack ball.
Why?
And it's the quack.
Why?
The year of the quack.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because it's 22.
What is it?
Quack. Think about it.
I don't understand.
2-2.
Do you understand, Stro? I don't know what he's talking about. Why isn't it Hong Kong? Why not Hong Kong?
No, Hong Kong don't go together.
No, Hong Kong.
It's got to be
like in Ottawa, Hong Kong.
Who's there?
Like 2-2. Where it is 20.
What about knock?
Somebody with a duck always go quack. There's like the double nickel. Double nickel is 2 5s together, right? Double nickel is 2 5s together. That's a double nickel.
Okay.
If you put two together, that's
are you doing a Scott Steiner math again, Rat Boy?
It doesn't make any sense.
and the lemon ball is 2 chicken legs.
Are you on drugs?
No.
It's okay if you are. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but I want to help you.
No, I'm a quack. I'm a quack today. Quack.
All right.
Like you got those quacky doctors, Well, I'm a quack today. Because today is 2/22/2022.
Rat
I'm
Boy.
a quack today.
Rat Boy. Have you ever heard of the Valley of the Green Glass Door? Do you know that one?
No.
Okay, so there's there's
90 seconds.
There's Coors, but there's no Bud Light.
Oh.
There's a door, but there's no window.
Yeah,
there's a goodbye, but there's not a talk to you later. Love you, brother.
60 seconds.
Oh, goodness.
You know, that was a good one. Valley
Oh, yeah, it was
green glass door. Yeah, get it, the double vowels. Green glass door. Valley.
Right.
Green glass door. Yep. All right.
Nice.
Let's go to, I love you, Rat Boy. I'm just playing, but I didn't understand what you were saying there. Let's go to, oh, God. We might be live from NASCAR right now. What's going on, Dustin? How you doing?
Doing good, man. This entire week's been awesome.
Oh yeah. Better than WrestleMania?
I'm not going to WrestleMania.
Why not?
I'm not gonna watch Roman Reigns win both titles. Nope, I'm good.
No, but you're gonna watch a bunch of drivers drive around in a circle for 5 hours?
It's gonna be in Texas.
It was worth it, trust me.
Okay.
It was the best Daytona 500 I've watched in years.
Now,
there was a lot. There was a lot of wrecks too.
If a driver gets, are wrecks good? I thought wrecks were bad.
Well, if a race don't have no wrecks, it's boring. But the wrecks are what made the best Daytona 500 ever.
He's like Vince Russo. He's a fan of Crash TV. Did you
I'm good. I'm not.
Did a driver, like, if a driver got hurt, would you ever drive their car for them?
No, but no one. The new cars are a lot safer now, so no one's gonna get hurt.
Somebody should drive a monster truck for NASCAR, and then just like all you got to do is just run people over.
No, you can't do that.
Maybe give Medusa a call.
Well, it's legal. Yeah, seriously, it's legal to push people into the wall, but it's not legal to run them over.
Yeah, well, I'm not done. I'm actually going to the first 5 races of the year. So.
Okay, so what's the next one? Is that the Indianapolis 5000?
No, it's no. The next one's in California at Auto Club Speedway, and then the one after that is in Phoenix. In Las Vegas, and then Phoenix.
When are you going to be in Las Vegas?
That's the next race after next weekend.
Is that okay? Because I'm going to be there in April. I was going to say we could get a drink if we were there at the same time.
Oh man.
Probably won't be because that race weekend's in March.
Oh, you know what though? I'm going to be in Orlando in March. Maybe we could get a drink then.
Yeah.
Right, remember, I'm going to be gone the first 5 races, so I won't be back till the first part of April.
Okay. It was worth a shot. Do you think I could stay at your place? Save some money?
I don't know if my roommates are going to like that very much.
Oh, I didn't think you had roommates. Okay, I got you.
I did. We split the rent, so.
Okay. I thought you owned the house.
But yeah, but the thing is,
I thought you moved it from Texas to Orlando.
No, actually, I got another house in Orlando.
Okay, I got
a house about a year or 2 ago.
It's like Tycoon. I got you.
It's a nice house. It's really nice. I got a swimming. It's got a swimming pool. It's a real nice house.
That real estate, man.
Okay.
So
you're renting a house with a swimming pool. That's nice.
Well, like every year I go to the first 5 races in NASCAR every year. I never miss. So
I know.
Every year.
I know.
I've done that every year for 10 years.
So why don't they bring back legends in NASCAR to come back and beat everybody?
No, once you retire, you retire. That's just how it goes.
You know what they should do? They should bring in like Logan Paul, who could probably hit the gas faster than like a professional race car driver.
I cannot stand Logan Paul.
I just think he'd be really good in NASCAR. I want him far away from wrestling.
He's doing everything these days.
He'll get someone killed.
Yeah. I just feel like.
Logan Paul.
Well, I don't like
You know what's
NASCAR.
gonna
That's why I
happen,
want to
Brady?
put them on the same show. So I don't have one less thing to watch.
Here's the thing. I heard something that there's a slight chance Cody Rhodes may show up in WWE.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't believe it.
Well, that would be something to see, you know, like because Edge on Raw last night was like, well, he put a challenge out there. If someone needs to step up, and I wouldn't be surprised that it's Cody Rhodes that fights Edge.
I think it's going to be AJ Styles.
Yeah, speaking of AJ Styles, I heard something. He got his contract renewed today.
Yep. He's signed now until he's 60, I
Wow.
guess. So, yeah.
Man, and you know that'd be a good match. Styles and Edge, man, that would be a good match. I think.
Be real good. Be
I
real
won't
good,
be
brother.
surprised to see Ronda win at Mania.
I expect that she will. I expect that she'll win the title. The one that I can't figure out is who's going to win between Becky and Bianca. Because Bianca should win. But I always feel like the big
But it's
stars
not gonna
win at
happen.
WrestleMania, and Becky's the bigger star right now.
What's going to happen is she's going
I
to
do
use
think
the bottom
I
rope
do-
to get a pin to.
Really? I think Bianca's going to win.
I don't think
It just
so.
kind of
I
undoes
think they're
everything
gonna-
that they just did.
Well, I don't think so. I think Becky
Yeah.
wants to be champion a couple more weeks after Mania and then lose the belt to Bianca.
Well, there are a lot of people who think that Becky's going to keep the belt all the way until next year when she fights Ronda. I just don't think they're going to do
Man,
Bianca like that.
I won't be surprised if we get Bailey back before or after Mania. Then never Raw. after
Bailey
Mania.
back,
But I
yes.
think that's what Bailey's gonna be.
She's going to fight Rhea. Do you hear that, Stro?
Oh, Bailey?
Bailey.
Wow.
Dustin, can I get you to go, I want my Bailey back, Bailey back, Bailey back.
No,
I want my Bailey
honestly,
back, Bailey back, Bailey back.
well, Brady, here's
Bailey's
the thing. They have done,
championship runs. Barbecue sauce.
Brady, here's the thing.
Yeah.
They've actually done Rhea Ripley wrong. Really, honestly, since her losing the Roman's title, everything's kind of had fallen downhill for her.
I want my Bailey back, Bailey back, Bailey back. Yeah.
Brady, don't you think? Like, really, they did it that the way that Rhea Ripley's being booked, like having matches with Nikki ASH, which it's just a waste of her time.
I think she had to end that feud, and she won it, and now it's over.
It sucks, really, honestly, and then they were tag team champions for several months and had no one really to defend the titles against, and it's just horrible.
I mean, honestly, I think she would benefit from going back to NXT. You have her in a feud with Raquel Gonzalez or one of the big women down there, you know? That's probably what I would do with her, just because I think there's too much talent.
Someone needs to beat Mandy for the title. I'm getting tired of seeing it.
Would you say it's toxic down there?
I just think it's annoying, you know. I think someone WrestleMania weekend's going to beat Mandy for the title.
Maybe one of her partners will, like the redhead. Be a Priestley or whatever.
Thinking, Gigi Dolan.
Yeah,
Gigi Dolan.
That's it. I want my Bailey back, Bailey back, Bailey back.
She's formerly for Zona.
I want my Bailey back, Bailey back, Bailey back. Bailey championship run. And barbecue sauce.
You're funny, Brady.
Yeah, brother. We got to get out of here,
funny.
man. But it's been a pleasure as always, brother.
Well, I'll be back next week.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you then.
Right.
It's a date. See you, brother. All right. What a random night, Stro. What a random night this was.
It sure was.
A night of highs and lows.
Like the stock market.
Like the stock market on any given day. So the greatest wrestling moment. I promised I would deliver one before the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think the visual, and just because of the special time in my life and everything, because I was 12 years old and I kind of discovered wrestling not that long before, the visual of Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior after WrestleMania 6 with the torch passed, when Warriors got the belt and they hug each other and then Hulk walks away, and it just felt like the end of an era, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And in a lot of ways it was. I mean, I know Hogan went on to win the belt again, but it was never the same after that, you know? Things just changed.
Right.
That's a moment for me.
And he did so much to help elevate the Warrior in that match, too.
Yeah, for sure. More than he had really done for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was definitely a very special thing. So that's my special moment. And I think, I think it's about time probably to get out of here. What do you got going on, sir?
Oh, well, WCW Retro Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on VOCNation.com. We're discussing greatest wrestling moments. So if you have a great moment you'd like to share in wrestling history, please call in. Should be a lot of fun. Friday night, the Stro Zone at midnight Eastern Standard Time at Facebook.com/StroTheMaestro. And Friday night's feature will be Diary of a Madman. Vincent Price. Please tune in.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this week to In the Room, VOC Nation Wrestling Network. Be sure to check out all the other great shows that are available at your disposal, not just on VOCNation.com, but on all the podcast providers as well. You look for us, we'll be there for you. As they used to say on Baywatch, you know, we'll be there. We'll be there. I've been watching a lot of Tommy and Pam stuff, documentaries and stuff recently, so very special time in my college life. So even though I'd never seen the video, believe it or not. Anyway, so thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to the best cast and crew I could ever ask for. You guys are all amazing, and you help make the show so much fun. Thank you to the callers. Thank you to the Canadian Mountie, Jacques Rougeau, for helping us out tonight with that great interview. And be sure to check out wrestling-academy.ca. Wrestling-academy.ca is the link to check out the competition. For my own bookings, of course, ECWA returns on March 26th. The Jersey Dugout, 712 Genesee Drive, Morganville, New Jersey. Tickets and information, ECWAWrestling.com. This year's Super 8 tournament, Encore Moore, Eric Corvus, Eel O'Neill, Fancy Ryan Clancy, Travis Huckabee, Darius Carter, the legend Ricky Morton, and for the first time ever in the men's field, a woman, Erica Lee, going to be joining the Super 8. Tickets and information, once again, ECWAWrestling.com. I'm going to be seeing about getting some of the stars of the Super 8 tournament this year on the program in the next couple weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to work some stuff out. And check out ECWA Saturday Morning Slam on YouTube each and every week. Just search ECWA Saturday Morning Slam. That's going to do it. Everybody, take care. Be good to each other. And I love you all very much. Talk soon. Bye-bye.